sunny and beautiful today, but very, very cold. How's everybody doing, and welcome back to another video on the AutoVlog YouTube channel. Like I said, for the mandatory weather report, today is definitely the coldest day of this year. We currently have about 7 degrees here in Pittsburgh today, and it's going to go down to 0. There's some evil polar vortex or whatever they called it that is pretty much hitting a big part of the country. And I'm whining about, 7 degrees now and 0 degrees a little later today in Chicago. Their high today is minus 12. So man, I feel for you guys. I hope you're staying inside and watching this video here today instead of being outside. If you are a subscriber to the channel, man, I feel for you. Their low is going to be minus 22. But enough about the weather. There's been a lot of truck content lately, and that is because of the weather. So sorry, we're talking about the weather again. But I hope you're not getting bored of the truck content quite yet, because today we're doing our first interior mod. We've done tons of mod to the F-150 here, and I keep getting hundreds of comments saying, when are you going to do something about your interior? Well, it starts today. So because of the weather, and sorry, I'm talking about the weather once again, I've been out driving the truck already because we're going to spend all our time, or the rest of the time of today's video, inside of the truck, and it can't be on while we're doing this. So I've been driving it around to get it warmed up, and now it's been sitting for half an hour. So we're going to remote start it and get it warmed up again, and then get to work. Alright, so what are we doing today? Well, we're installing a new infotainment system. If you have a 2015 Ford F150 like myself, you will be very familiar with my Ford Touch, or Sync 2. This is a pretty good infotainment system. It's been around for a long time, since 2012. I mean, the outlay and everything, it looks pretty good, but the main issue that I've had with it is that it is very slow. You click and it's almost like a loading time every time you touch the screen, which is pretty annoying. Now, it also goes without saying that this system right here does not have, let's say, Apple CarPlay. In my truck, I don't have navigation either. So in today's video, we're actually upgrading the infotainment system to Sync 3. Now, Sync 3 came out in 2016. So it's been around for a little while as well, but it is a huge upgrade from what I currently have, which is my Ford Touch. Now, this is the latest software that Sync 3 has to offer, so it comes with navigation. It also comes with Apple CarPlay, so I'm extremely excited to get this in my truck. We currently have it in the Raptor, and it's just so much better. It's faster, the navigation is a whole lot better as well. Everything is just a huge upgrade. So let's get to installing. Okay, so I got my jacket off and the truck is pretty much warmed up. As we can see here, it is currently 8 degrees outside. So I'm gonna have to turn the truck off now, and hopefully we stay warm enough. So the first thing we gotta do here, and for those of you who watched my install of the auto stop eliminator in the Raptor, this is sort of similar. You have to first remove this part right here, which can be kind of tricky because it sits pretty hard. But if you have a little pry tool like this one here, and then what we're going to need is a 7mm socket here, because there's 2 screws right here. Alright, so we got both of these screws out, and then what we have to do is pop this bezel out. And this is just fastened by some retaining clips. There we go. And then what you can probably see from this camera right here is that we got a couple clips for these different buttons, the traction control button and so on. Now, getting these clips out can be a little tricky, so what I did was push the whole button assembly out, and then what you have to do, there's a little tab right here There. And we'll do the same with this one here. There we go. So the next step is 6 7mm screws, 3 on each side here, to get the old unit out. Alright, so here we have the old unit, and we just have 2 plugs that we need to remove. There. So this is the old unit, the My Ford Touch one, and as I mentioned, we're replacing it with the Sync 3 one. And this Sync 3 unit is an actual Sync 3 unit from Ford, so it is an OEM part. It's not some cheap knockoff, you know, aftermarket part. Okay, so the next step here is to attach this GPS antenna. There's a magnet on the back here, and we're just gonna put it here on this metal brace right here, facing upwards like that, and then this blue plug will connect right here like that. So for now, we're going to stick that back together like that, because now what we have to do is install a new USB port. Now on my 2015, it sits down here. There's 2 USB ports. There's also an SD card slot, which I never use and I won't really have to use now, because on the old system you had to have an SD card with all the maps and everything, and now on Sync 3 that's handled by Wi-Fi and it's internal in the actual system. So we're going to install this new USB port, and first we have to remove the old port. So what I'm going to do is just pry this piece open with my little prying tool here, and that's a little hard to film, so you guys are just going to have to trust me that I know how to do this. Alright, so we got the USB unit out here, and then we have new cords here, which is kind of like an adapter for the new USB unit. And it clicks right back in. So now we have the new USB unit installed. All that's left to do now is put everything back together. And one thing that I've forgotten to mention is that these brackets here, they were assembled for me. For anyone that does this process, if you have, let's say, a truck like mine with my Ford Touch, what you will have to do is use the old brackets from the old unit and put them on the new unit. But I guess that Infotainment.com have watched some of my videos, and they were like, this guy needs all the help that he can get. And they're right. So, because I don't know what I'm doing. Alright, so I lost one of those 6mm screws just for the bottom left one here. I don't think that matters all that much. It really is stuck in there. But I guess before we put the whole front bezel on and everything, let's start the truck up and see that everything works the way it should.
To the Great Gatsby from Pittsburgh Ballet Theater, this brand new...
Look at that. Look at that. Awesome. Yes, we want to turn on automatic software updates. Look at that. And it's 5 degrees. Yeah, it's getting kind of cold in here. My feet are freezing. But look at that. Got navigation. Oh man, this is sweet. Alright, so we know that it works. Let me just put everything back together here and we'll finish up. This clicks back together. All right, there we are. We got Sync 3 in my Ford F150, a new infotainment system. This is awesome. All right, so what we're going to try now is Apple CarPlay, of course. So what we have to do is plug this USB cord in there, plug this into my phone. Look at that. Mikey Mike has Apple CarPlay finally in his truck. That is very, very nice. I like it. Got Waze. Man, I love that So when I installed this Sync 3 infotainment system, it came with navigation, and I've used the navigation in Sync 3 many times, and it is great. We have it in the Raptor. I've driven several other Fords that have it. So much better than the navigation that was in my Ford Touch Sync 2. But to be honest with you, I'm not going to be using that because who doesn't use Waze? It is the best navigation out there in my opinion, and it detects, you know, cops and everything if I can have it up on my screen, and that's the best part, to be honest. So there we have it, folks. The first interior modification to my F-150 went from my Ford Touch to Sync 3, the latest infotainment system that Ford offers. And you know, I've done millions of reviews and stuff on this system before, but it's so much easier to toggle. The full menu is down here. It swipes kind of like a smart tablet, and you know, it's just so much better than the system that I used to have. What do you guys think of the first interior mod we did to the F-150? I'm very, very happy. And a big thanks to Infotainment.com. If you're in the market, not just for Fords, but in my case, a Ford, and let's say you have an F-150 like I have and you want to upgrade to Sync 3, or maybe you just have the 4-inch screen and you want the bigger screen, they do all kinds of conversions, which is really, really cool. So definitely check them out, Infotainment.com. And if you have other brands of cars, they have upgrades for those as well. So a big thank you to them. And by the way, they're not paying me to say this in any way. I mean, all their products are OEM parts, so you can't really go wrong with this. Like I said earlier in the video, it's not some you know, cheap knockoff aftermarket part. It works really, really well, and it's pretty much plug and play, as you guys could see here. And again, for those of you who follow my channel, if this is something that I can install, I think that pretty much anyone can do it. But it is getting colder and colder outside. Although I'm sitting in a pretty warm truck here, I'm not going to be sitting here all day long. So I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. If you're stopping by for the first time and you feel like you want to, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Look at how salted my truck is, by the way. I mean, it's not even black anymore. It's completely white. God, I hate PA winters.